I'm humbled. I'm floored. I'm furious! Why? Because I need your... Welcome to the Duopoly Report. Well, election season is here again. It's never quite far away, especially with candidates who have to raise money every 2 years. But also, we have new campaigns going on. And in the race for U.S. Senate, it's just around the corner. It's a statewide race. For a lot of people, they want to raise a lot of money doing that. And the season of the incessant emails asking for money begins. Now, no one's doing this quite to the level of Mr. Benray Lujan, who announced for office on April the 1st that he's running for U.S. Senate. He's leaving his Northern Congressional District seat to run for the U.S. Senate here in New Mexico. And there's a very interesting thing that's happened. It is now the morning of April the 5th, okay? On April the 1st, he announces for office. And of course, along with an announcement for office comes the obligatory email. Hey, I wanted to let you know directly from me. I'm officially running to be New Mexico's next Democratic U.S. Senator, and I'm asking you to pitch in $25 today to join me on day one of my campaign. $25. I'm so proud of my New Mexico roots. My mom retired after 33 years with the local public school district. My dad was a union iron worker. I was raised on a small farm that I still call home. Honestly, I never imagined I'd be making this announcement today. Now, there's some other stuff underneath there too. A little bit more about his family and very little about what he's done in his time in office. But this is the kickoff. Here he is. I'm starting my race. I'm asking for $25. Hey, can you chip in today? That was this is the fundraising email screenshot that I received from April the 1st at 9 a.m. This is and so then you think, okay, well, there you go, right? Well, April 1st, 3:16 p.m. Hey, last year I led the effort to back the House, and we succeeded. Now I'm running to be New Mexico's next Democratic senator and to take back the Senate, too. So I'm humbly asking you to be there for me today. On day one of this campaign, your support and your $15 to win this race and win the Senate will mean the world to me. Okay, we're nice and humble. We're going down to 15 instead of 25. Truthfully, I could never imagine I'd be running for Senate. And I think we're going to start seeing that he's not lying here with this statement. But then again, I could have never imagined there would be someone like President Trump in the White House and Mitch McConnell in the Senate. I could have never imagined a president working hand in hand with the Republican Senate to strip away our health care, to appoint radical Supreme Court justices to jail children at the border. It's sickening, but it's my call to action. I know more than ever Americans need a Senate that will have their backs. All right, makes sense. Hey, Ben, thanks for the second email in the same day. I hope you're not getting too desperate. Okay, April 2nd, 10:57 a.m. I can hardly believe my eyes. I'm floored. It says there on the title. I'm floored. I can hardly believe my eyes. Hours after launching my campaign for Senate, my team just told me we're within striking distance of a historic number of gifts in our first 24 hours. I only need 2 more gifts. Just 2 more gifts from your area before 4 p.m. to reach my goal. Win this race and win the Senate. For every child whose health care Mitch McConnell let expire. For every senior whose Medicare he traded to give tax breaks to billionaires. For every American with a pre-existing condition we have to live in fear. I'm asking you to chip in $15 before 4 p.m. to help me win this Senate seat. Dethrone Mitch McConnell and ensure that he can never harm another American again. So I appreciate him putting in a couple policy statements, although he and Pelosi have been not supporters of Medicare for all. He supports playing defense against the Republicans on what we have now, but not really advancing anything. Now, it's also interesting that he says he needs the $15 to win the Senate seat and to dethrone Mitch McConnell. Now, you can't dethrone Mitch McConnell by winning your seat here in New Mexico. Mitch McConnell is up for re-election in Kentucky this year, and there is already an announced Democratic challenger. So, are we giving the $15 to the Democratic challenger or to you? Are you going to send it over to the Democratic challenger if I make this donation? I'm a little bit confused as to how that works, but maybe in a further email we'll get some further explanation. Now, if you're that close to historic first 24-hour period of record number of gifts, right, you would expect then that there would be an announcement later on of, hey, we had an historic number of gifts. And I did all the Google searching in the world that I could try to come up with, and there was nothing. Nada. Zero, zip, zilch. There was not one news story about it, not one news article about it. And you know, just like with Kamala Harris when she announced and had her money bomb on the first day, and Bernie Sanders with his money bomb on the first day, you know, they put out facts, figures that are now getting backed up by the FEC reports that are coming out as we speak. So there was none of that. So how close to the historical fundraising level were they? Were they telling us the truth? Oh, but now, if you were wondering, now in the PM of the second day, Nate Silver 538 just predicted. Nate Silver's 538. Republicans could win the open New Mexico Senate seat. Quickly rush $15 to stop Republicans from stealing this critical race. We need to move quickly. First, Ben Ray announced he was running for the New Mexico's next Democratic senator. Then, Nate Silver predicted Republicans could actually steal the seat. Now, we need a massive Democratic response. 1,000 gifts before midnight to stop Republicans from stealing this seat from us. Let's help Ben Ray and the Republicans. A powerful message. We will never let them win this critical Senate seat. Will you rush $15 before midnight to elect Ben Ray and defeat his Republican attackers? Republican attackers! We're going to lose this seat! You know, that's a real interesting note there, because as far as I know, New Mexico has turned into not even a swing seat. And in fact, in an earlier video, I reported how the Cook Political Report had this seat as strong Democratic. Not only that, he says that we need to stop Republicans and our Republican attackers. As far as I know, there is no announced Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate seat as we speak. There may be one later, but there's not even one right now. So I went looking on 538 for this article, and believe you me, I had to dig. If you just click and go to 538, you will not see this article on their website. I had to do a Google search. 538, U.S. Senate, New Mexico. Finally, I pulled out of the darkness of the webs this 538, March 26th. This is the morning after Tom Udall announces what the Udall retirement mean for New Mexico's 2020 Senate race. So they have an article about what's going to be happening and a picture of Tom Udall addressing the public after eating very sour lemon, it looks like. So they go on to say that he's not seeking re-election in 2020. He's the first Democratic senator to retire since 2016. And then down in the first paragraph, it says, still, it won't be easy for the Republicans have few targets in 2020. They're playing defense for the most part. Most of the seats that are up are Republican held. So they have very few targets to go after, and New Mexico could mark one of their few takeover opportunities. Still, it won't be easy for them to win. New Mexico's not quite solidly blue, but it's also not purple either. It is not purple either. It's the type of state a Republican could win, but they would need multiple things to go their way. They would need multiple things to go their way. Yeah, what they would need is a sincerely weak Democratic candidate coupled with a super popular local Republican candidate, a fundraising edge, and maybe some kind of scandal on the Democrats on top of that. You put all that into the soup, you mix all of that up, and maybe, just maybe, you might win. But you wouldn't know that from reading that fundraising letter that I just read a second ago. No, it's like the end of the world. The Republicans are on your gate, and they're about to take over this New Mexico seat. The next column down, first of all, paragraph down, Democrats are favored to hold this seat. Election handicappers at Cook Political Report and Sabato's Crystal Ball still view New Mexico contest as likely Democratic, while Inside Elections gave it a solid Democratic rating. The Land of Enchantment is 7 percentage points more Democratic than the nation as a whole, making it the 14th most Democratic-leaning state in the country. If the statements in Ben Ray Lujan's fundraising letter, or fear-raising letter as I like to call it, are true, then it means that even if you have a 7%, if you're 7% more Democratic than the entire nation, that is still risky, and we're going to lose. So is that true? Or is the Ben Ray Lujan campaign actually admitting that they are weak? They're a weak campaign, they're a weak candidate, and they're the ones that would be subject to losing to a Republican in this cycle coming up. We got a new fundraising letter. 9 a.m., McConnell out. This is an all-hands-on-deck moment. Ben Ray Lujan just announced his bid for Senate. He's our best chance to win. He's our best chance to win? Well, that's pretty frightening now. I'm scared. If our best chance to win is in fear of losing to the Republicans in a seat that's 7% more Democratic than the rest of the nation, and he's our best chance to win, honestly, New Mexico, we don't have anyone else. New Mexico Senate seat. Flip the Senate from red to blue and stop Mitch McConnell. But Republicans are already hurling insults at him, and now Nate Silver's 538 is predicting Republicans could steal this seat. Could, yeah, you want to use the word could to make that statement true? Weak. We can't lose the opportunity to elect a Democrat in New Mexico and dethrone Mitch McConnell. Ben Ray still needs 571 more gifts before midnight to fight back. Can you count on your 15? Hey, even can't chip in 10 now. So, day 3, and here we are. He's still saying that we're weak as water, and that we can't lose this opportunity to dethrone Mitch McConnell. The same confusing thing. How is a sending $15 to Ben Ray Lujan going to dethrone Mitch McConnell? They still haven't answered that one. Now, this was the only fear-raising email sent out on the third day. And so maybe if they only sent one, they must be getting successful now in their fundraising. Money's coming in and things are okay, right? Because if things aren't okay after putting out this kind of hype, if things aren't okay, then I wonder what we might have to Nuclear! Mitch McConnell's just got nuclear! Oh my god! Breaking, Mitch McConnell goes nuclear. Please read this carefully. We're in danger! Mitch McConnell just pulled one of the biggest power grabs in Senate history. He invoked the nuclear option and changed Senate rules to strip Democrats of critical power. We need a powerful surge of opposition. 1,500 gifts before midnight! To replace the ever power-stealing Senate Republicans like Mitch McConnell and the Democrats like Ben Ray. Quickly, will you step up with $15 tonight to defeat Mitch McConnell and let Ben Ray? Are you serious? Yeah, the nuclear option. This is true. This is a news item, so that the Republicans only need majorities instead of 60 votes to get federal judge appointees. through that Trump wants, right? And this would be a disaster. This is bad. This is something Democrats actually asked Harry Reid to do years ago when they controlled the Senate, and Harry Reid said no. Now Mitch McConnell is pulling the trigger because they're tired of the Senate Democrats taking 30 hours of debate on each nominee and slowing down the process. But there's some other news to that. But wait a minute, here comes another fear-raising letter in the afternoon. I'm furious. I can't believe what I just witnessed. Mitch McConnell just unleashed the nuclear option. That means he stripped the Senate Democrats of critical power so he can pack the courts and confirm more of Trump's extreme judges at lightning speed. I need a swift and powerful uprising of Democratic opposition to tell Mitch McConnell, if you pack the courts, Democrats will kick you out of office. If we let McConnell get away with this despicable stunt, Trump's judges will block Democrats' progress on the courts for decades to come. Again, you getting elected, you a Democrat replacing another Democrat on the Senate will not help flip the Senate. It will only maintain what already is. Using that flip the Senate phrase in your fear-raising letters is weak. It's spin at the highest level. And all of this talk about, the Democrats, they need to be strong and do that all, that would have held water had this not happened. Last October, Politico, and this is an article from October 11th, 2018. Hey, Democrats agree to confirmations of 15 Trump judges. In exchange, Democrats facing re-election can go home to campaign. I'll give you 15 Trump judges if you just let me take a flight home for some last minute standing on the back of a truck and telling you how much I love my constituents. Yeah. The own Senate Democrats don't put up the fight. They would have gotten more votes staying in the Senate and fighting those bastard Republicans and putting in terrible judges if they would have kept delaying 30 hours at a time for each single judge nomination. But no. I need to go home and I need to shake some hands and things like that. I can't take a photo up from DC. I don't know how to use Twitter or Instagram or any of those other things to connect with my constituents while I'm working my butt off here for you. So, you know what? Let's just have 15 more terrible judges get in so I can go home and campaign. That's the state of the resistance of the Democratic Senate. And this is why the statements that Ben Ray makes are hollow. And he knows this. He knows the history up there. He's up there. But he's counting on you not to know that history. Here's some more facts. Ben Ray Lujan, when you look at his campaign committee, this is his congressional races, 2017 to 2018. Do you see how many small individual contributions he got? 89,685. Which is 4.6% of all the fundraising that he made. Most of his come from PAC contributions and from large individual contributions, like large donors who max out on you, 2,500, 5,000, that kind of thing. That's who he's used to talking to, and you can really see that clearly in the string of emails that occurred. He basically melts down over 3 days and goes to fear-raising, fear-mongering, emotional abuse on people who don't know better. And that's why I've got this show. I'm going to break this stuff down so that you understand exactly what they're trying to do and how they're doing it. And the news you need to know to be able to contrast with what they're saying so that you can make an accurate determination as to whether they're worth your time and your support. So I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but the facts are pretty clear here. The facts are that there's very little fact going on in these fear-raising emails, and I'm for one, I'm resentful that they're trying to play me like that to get $10 or $15 out of me. You know, you want to know who I'm going to support? I don't know who I'm going to support in New Mexico yet. We only have one candidate on the Democratic side. I wonder if a Green or progressive independent will get involved. There are some libertarian that has announced now. So there'll be some more updates on candidates, especially when I hear some more names. But right now, in terms of giving money, I am going to give money to a congressperson. I'm going to give money to Ocasio-Cortez, Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez from New York. And do you know how many fundraising emails she sent me? 0. Not one. Not one. I'm not on her list, and I'm going to send her money. Why? Because through her bold actions, just in the first year of her being there on the Congress, she has shaken up the debate. She's pushed issues in the right direction. And she's taking on her detractors, both inside and outside of Congress, with fearlessness. She fights for the people. She's going to get a small contribution from me. And she never sent me one goddamn email. Not one fear-raising email. She doesn't have to, because she's doing the work. And I want to reward her in my small way as I can. That's how you raise money from small donors. And no one knows that better than Senator Bernie Sanders. Now with his first quarter filings, Senator Sanders' donations, around 900,000 individual donations, 550,000 unique donors. So some gave more than once, right? But 99.5% of donations are 100 or less. The average donation is $20. But he raised he raised $18.2 million between January and April, the end of March. A majority of the donors are 39 years or younger. Almost 100,000 registered independents and 20,000 Republicans have contributed. So it's not just Democrats. And 99.99% of those donors can give again because they haven't maxed out. They've given $20, not $2,500. And 99.6% of the money raised came online. So that's the model. Like, if you really know that someone's of the people and has been working for the people, and especially if you've been in office for a long time like Senator Sanders has, or like Ben Ray Lujan has, you've got a track record, you have things that you can show, you've been able to promote that, or sometimes the TV promotes it itself, of bills you've passed, speeches you've made, of going out, or even Bernie Sanders when he can't pass a bill or whatever, he's out there with the striking union workers at Disneyland and getting Disneyland to agree to give them $15 an hour. He's putting out shoe leather and being with the people, and the people support him. That's how it works. There's no magic bullet. I mean, it shouldn't be a magic bullet. That's just how it works. You help them, they will help you. There's almost nothing in what Ben Ray Lujan is doing in his fear raising that demonstrate that he's of the people. And he's not. He's fourth in power, giant fundraiser, but that's all big business and rich people. So there you go. I can't wait to see what else comes out. Now, I will tell you this. Do I ask for money? You're goddamn right I ask for money. I ask for money on at the tail end of every one of these shows. But I try to deliver you content that's worthy of such an ask of a donation. So if you can, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, go to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/Duopoly Report, and become a Patreon member of mine and give as little as $5 a month. You can give less if you want, and that helps me deliver this kind of content to you as much as I can. The more I raise, the more I'm able to do this regularly. And this kind of news and information you just don't get anywhere else. So please consider donating today, and thank you for watching the Duopoly Report.